Okay, so for my final project for the Udacity Azure Machine Learning Engineer Nanodegree, I have worked on a classification problem based on a data set from Kaggle, which is the IBM HR Analytics Employee Attrition and Performance data set. So with this data set, I was trying to predict whether an employee was at risk of leaving the company. And I've uploaded the data, split it into a test and train set, and uploaded it as data sets into my Azure Machine Learning workspace. Then I've run 2 experiments, so one for Hyperdrive and one for AutoML. So I'll dive into the notebooks for these as well. So here we can see the AutoML notebook. I've done all the to-do tasks, and we can see here the best model was a voting ensemble. I used the AUC weighted as my evaluation metric, so that achieved a metric of 0.835. And this was in the end also better than the Hyperdrive Run that I had. So this is why I decided to deploy the AutoML model. So here we can see the best model. And I saved the model and retrieved the inference score.py script from the AutoML run, registered the model here, and then deployed it to Azure Container Instance. And we can see the endpoint is healthy. So if we go to the endpoints, then we can also see here the attrition prediction endpoint with the status of healthy. And we can quickly, here I'm loading in separate test data. So I will send these to my endpoint, and then we see this cell was successful. And here I've just concatenated the data frame so that we can compare the results. And we can see it's not perfect, so there are some wrong predictions, but here, for example, these 2 employees were detected at risk when they were actually leaving the company. So that's good, that's the cases that we want to find. Yeah, and then quickly to the Hyperdrive Run. So here I also did all the to-dos. I decided to tune an XGBoost model because the XGBoost in general is a very powerful algorithm for classification and binary classification, and also because it looked promising in the AutoML runs. So here I did all the to-dos, created a training script, created an environment, and here started the run with a script run config instead of an estimator, because the estimator is deprecated according to Microsoft. So I changed this task a bit and used the script run config. And we can see I achieved AUC weighted of 0.73, which is not as good as the AutoML run. But we can here see also the parallel coordinates plot with the hyperparameters that I tuned. So that's why I did not deploy this model in the end that I retrieved from the Hyperdrive Run. And there are also some other notebooks with explorative data analysis and some baseline model. So just to get a baseline, and that baseline was at 0.64 for the weighted AUC. So both the Hyperdrive and AutoML could achieve better results. So that's good. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for listening.